Streaming live across the country, tackling the topics everyone is talking about online. Share, engage, and interact. This is Newsfeed Now.
Good Monday morning, and thanks for kicking off your week with Newsfeed Now. I'm Ashley King. We're going to take a look at today's top trending stories, including a family's dog accidentally being adopted out of a shelter and a 5-year-old's beats going viral and catching the attention of celebrities. But we begin in Florida, where a substitute teacher is facing criminal charges. As Jeff Patterson explains, that sub was fired after a physical fight with 2 students and another teacher.
Haines City Police say this started with the very minor incident of insubordination and then quickly escalated out of control. This is the arrest booking photo of 52-year-old substitute teacher David Sierra. Haines City Police say Sierra weighs more than 260 pounds, more than twice the size of a student he got into an argument with in class.
Mr. Sierra, from what we understand, was within an inch, maybe 2 of the student's face, to the point where the student could actually smell his or feel Mr. Sierra's breath.
Another teacher working in the same classroom saw what was going on and tried to step in.
She's trying to take on a man more than 2 times her size, and when our detectives interviewed her, her priority the entire time was just protecting the students, and the teacher really is kind of the hero.
Police say Sierra threw 1 student to the ground. The other teacher also went down, and a second student tried to jump in to help.
At which point the second student, the intervening student, is grabbed by the shirt and kind of swung back and forth.
The first student ran out of the class in fear. This security video given to us by the Haines City Police Department shows Sierra following the student, but the student doubled back and ran back into the classroom. The other teacher then locked the door. Sierra has been fired by the Polk County School District. The Polk County School Superintendent released a statement saying, in part, as educators, we are held to a higher standard. We must treat every child entrusted to our care with the utmost compassion and respect. In addition to being fired, Sierra now faces 2 counts of battery and 1 charge of interrupting a school event. In Haines City, Jeff Patterson, 8 on your side.
With the rise of online testing, a new solution coming from a New York college to prevent cheating among students. So here's how it works. Students get the same test questions, but at varying times depending on their skill levels. So students of highest mastery levels get the harder questions after other students, and there's no going back to change your answer after moving on to the next one. This makes it more difficult for students to get together in person or over the phone and take the test together. Most people who experience an avalanche never live to share their story, but a Tahoe skier survived one last month. Garpal Sangha has the survivor's story.
It was a regular backcountry outing for Tahoe skier Kyle Johnston.
We've been in these mountains and in these zones, dozens of times.
He is talking about the mountains near Blue Lakes just south of Lake Tahoe, but the Friday leading into President's Day weekend was unlike any other.
We started with some familiar terrain and, tested the snow, and we're feeling pretty good about it.
The 34-year-old was in for a rude awakening.
That, unfortunately, the avalanche occurred, and yeah, that was scary. Due to the way the avalanche broke, it actually broke above me, not below me. I just got really lucky. Simply put, where it was taking me, if I would have gone with it, it was taking me to what I felt was a really, really bad outcome.
So instead, he jumped off a 100-foot cliff.
And once I landed, I was knocked out. I was unconscious. I then got buried by all the snow that was behind me.
5 minutes, that is how long he was buried. And if it wasn't for the help of his cousin, it would have been longer.
He thankfully was able to find just my hand was sticking out, but I was completely buried.
But he wasn't so lucky on the injury front. A small brain bleed, concussion, broken spinal segments, several broken ribs, and punctured lung. He was flown via helicopter to the hospital, getting round-the-clock care for the next 12 days.
I got really lucky. I don't know how else to say it.
The experienced skier was able to live through something not many are able to. He says he is grateful and appreciates what he has, but he cautions people to only go backcountry skiing if you're ready to risk your life.
Simply put, my cousin's being prepared and his knowledge, his experience being in the mountains saved my life.
Wow, that is amazing there. A Texas family is heartbroken after their dog got out, was taken to the local shelter, and mistakenly adopted. The city of Lockhart admits it broke its own ordinance, calling it an accident. Jayla Washington reports this mistake may cost the family their pet forever.
The dog's name is Squeaky, named by the family's 6-year-old daughter. This park that I'm in right now is where they tell me they really just spent a lot of time playing with her. Now that she's gone and they might not ever get her back, they want answers.
Here's her lifetime license tag.
This is all the Moronis family has to remember their dog Squeaky.
To know that she's alive and I still can't even get to her, it just makes me feel like a failure as a mom.
The family says Squeaky got out on January 28th and was picked up by the Lockhart Animal Shelter.
We made several phone calls, regarding Squeaky. They just kept telling us no, she wasn't there. They even tried to sway us into believing that she was dead.
Squeaky was given up for adoption 3 days after being brought in. The Lockhart City Ordinance says a licensed dog must be held for 7 days.
The employee should have double checked that the wait time wasn't held correctly, and that was a mishap on our part.
The city says Squeaky was picked up by animal control at least 2 times before and returned home safely. But this time, checking the microchip, things were different.
Our animal control officers made multiple attempts to try to reach this person and were unsuccessful. So when the dog got adopted, then the microchip got reinstated to the new pet owner.
The Moronis family admits their contact information for the microchip was old, but they updated it a day after Squeaky went missing. Now, their daughter plays at the park alone.
I just missed her.
We just really want something like this to never happen to anybody.
Jayla Washington, KXAN News.
Let's go ahead and bring in Jayla now from Austin, Texas. Jayla, we know pets they're like family. The city there said that the wait time, they didn't wait that wait time. So what is the city doing now to try to help that family get their dog back?
Yeah, well, unfortunately right now, because the other family that did adopt the dog, they were in their rights. They didn't do anything wrong. It was a mistake on the shelter's end. So from speaking to the family last week, doesn't sound like there's actually much that they can do to legally get their dog back. Speaking to the city, I know that they're trying to work something out. I don't know exactly what they're trying to do, but that family you just heard from, they're not feeling too optimistic about being able to get their dog back.
Wow. Do you know if the city is planning to review their ordinance or make any changes after what happened?
I don't believe so. The ordinance is the ordinance. They say this has never happened before, so just unfortunately a very big mistake that did cost the family possibly their dog.
Wow. And so you said, is there any type of legal action maybe that the family can take or any other options a family may have?
Yeah, I was speaking to the family. They were looking into seeing if there was anything that they could do legally, but the lawyers are saying there really isn't a case because the family that adopted their dog did so within their rights. So it's just an unfortunate situation all around.
Yeah, it definitely is unfortunate. Well, thank you so much for bringing us that story from Austin, Jayla. Well, in New York, a picture found in a long-lost book sparks a nationwide search. Greg Mocker explains why the hunt is now on to find the family who posed for the picture.
Stories can jump from the pages of a book. This one fell out. A photo has been a 15-year mystery for Victoria Johnson, tucked in between the pages of a book picked up one day at a Manhattan bookstore.
And they were anonymous, but they just seemed so human to me and alive.
This has been 15 years sitting there.
It was where I could see it and I'd look at it every now and then and wish I could find those people.
Here's the part where the internet helps establish a good connection. Victoria Johnson is a professor at Hunter College, an award-winning author who likes history and has a Twitter. More than 10,000 retweets, likes, and comments later.
Suddenly I got a tweet saying, "That's my great uncle Sheldon."
And somebody else was calling Valerie Sutton.
I am in the picture. I am the youngest person in the picture.
Last week you were going about your business. How'd you hear that somebody was kind of looking for you?
My cousin Elizabeth called me on the phone. I said, well, can you send me a picture first so I can just take a look to be sure, it's really us? And she did, and it was.
What was it like to see it again?
You know, I looked at that picture and I thought, my first reaction was, oh my gosh, that's my new haircut. I remember the haircut just like that because I was so excited to get it. And I was really, really happy because I had a dad again.
Her and her sister's father had passed away. Their mom met Sheldon Sudduth in church in Kansas where they were living. The family sent the picture around to relatives. Some lived in New York City.
And her daughter was the one who sold the book in the used bookstore.
The rest of this story has been discovered now by people sharing it.
He sang in a gospel 4-quartet, and he used that as an avenue to do race relations. And I didn't know that as a kid.
Valerie, what do you think that your mom and dad would think about all this?
I think they'd be tickled. They would.
Victoria is going to mail Valerie the picture. We are all part of the story now. In Manhattan, Greg Mocker, Pix 11 News.
Wow, that is so cool there. A Virginia woman is making history as the first ever black woman official in the NFL. Maya Shaka is also just the second woman ever to officiate an NFL regular season game. Shaka honed her skills officiating college football games in Conference USA and the Pac-12, all while serving as an educator to children in the Virginia Beach City public school system. Well, before we go, we want to end on an upbeat note. The Hampton Roads region of Virginia has produced a lot of musicians like Pharrell Williams and Missy Elliott. As Madison Pierman shows us, a young drummer hopes to be added to that list as he racks up views by the millions.
Beating that drum set is 5-year-old Portsmouth native Kingsley Rosario, and for him there's only one way to describe it.
Feels loud and feels happy.
He shared his music producing skills with the world last month on TikTok. As of today, it has more than 8 million views.
You made it, Bubba?
Yeah. This video featuring music he produced is the one that went viral. Mom Brittany Rosario said she had no idea his casual time on the iPad was spent producing music.
What? You really made this?
The 5-year-old phenomenon hasn't had any formal training. Mom says he took to making music naturally.
He just would beat. Any two things he had would beat on anything.
Kingsley's music caught the ears of celebrities around the world. Diplo, Billie Eilish's brother Phineas, and even Steve Aoki. There's one celebrity, however, that he admires so much he dressed up as for a school project, Virginia Beach's own Pharrell Williams. Kingsley hopes to be a police officer and a music producer when he grows up, but for now, Kingsley's hard at work making his next viral song. Madison Pierman, 10 on your side.
Madison Pierman joins us now from Virginia Beach, Virginia, and Madison social media, such a powerful tool. So do we know if any celebrities or anyone like that has actually seen Kingsley's video?
Yeah, so I mentioned a little bit, Diplo, who's a super popular DJ, reached out to Kingsley. Billie Eilish's brother, Phineas, huge music producer. He produces all of Billie Eilish's music, and he reached out to Kingsley as well. So really an overwhelming response from celebrities.
So what has his mom's reaction been like? What has his response been like to this newfound fame?
Right, so Kingsley came home from school one day and his mom's obviously freaking out. This video reached millions and millions of views and she goes, "Kingsley, you went viral." And he's like, "Wow, that's great. Can I go play on my scooter?" As a 5-year-old, I don't know if he's quite grasped that yet.
That's funny. So he probably doesn't even realize what's going on. How old is he again?
5. He's 5 years old. It's crazy though, but once he gets behind that drum set, he's a grown man. I mean, his mannerisms changed. It was great to see.
Do you know, like, does he just kind of play around and come up with beats, or is he doing something specific? How does he come up with this?
Well, that was one of my first questions, like, do you hear this and you just start playing it? Like, and he says he just starts playing. There's no mapping out. He can't read music. He's still, learning to speak pretty much. So no, there's no reading of music. It really just comes to him naturally.
Wow, natural talent there. All right, thanks so much for that story, Madison. Well, that's a perfect note to end today's news feed now. Thanks so much for joining us. We'll see you back here same time, same place tomorrow. Have a good one.